morning, everyone. It's Sunday, February 11th, 2018. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day in the Lord. I'm here today, not with a devotional, but I want to share a revelation that the Lord gave me. And I'm still trying to figure this out. But I'm going to share it with you. Maybe you can shed some light on it for me. Maybe some of you have been given a piece to this puzzle. I watched a video the other day on Haiti, you know, how they're the oppression in Haiti and how the people are making these mud cookies and eating them. And I was very moved by it, and I posted it on Facebook, and I put a little quote up at the top from myself to the viewers. Before you complain about your government, watch this. And I put it up. And I'm going to show you this little video now. So here it is.
They look a lot like pancakes or cookies. The recipe passed down from generations here in Haiti. Women spend entire days making them. Grandmothers, daughters, and younger girls. Infants are nursed while mothers work the mix. Kids seem to enjoy them, at least when our camera was around. But these patties, known as bonbon terres by the Haitians who eat them, are a grim reminder of just how poor this Caribbean nation is. They aren't sweet, they're hard to swallow, and add almost nothing in terms of nutrition, because the cookies are actually made of dirt.
It fills your stomach. When we haven't eaten anything, this dirt cookie fills your stomach.
Traded, sold, and even hoarded by women here in the poorest section of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, Cité Soleil in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Small amounts of vegetable shortening, salt, and occasionally sugar are mixed in with the dirt and water as well. Made in places like this, an old fort where torture was once common by corrupt dictators here. Fort Dimanche is now a center of commerce built around the dirt cookies, a basketball court, soccer field, and school for hundreds of kids and home to many.
To get to the basketball court, which acts as a preparation area for the dirt cookies, you have to cross this open sewer, which is littered with animal parts and trash and other nasty things, to get to an area where the cookies are laid out to dry out in the sun. You can see that these are still very wet, not quite ready to be served, but this is literally dirt being prepared for humans to eat on top of other dirt and filth.
Celine Denis' life revolves around the cookies. For days we watched as the grandmother sat mixing the dirt cookie batter. Selling the cookies is Denis' sole source of income and often her only food.
It's a necessary evil. I'm in a bad situation, and that's why I make them. It hurts my heart, but I have no choice. We're forced to eat it. It makes us sick, but not the way it would to anybody who's not used to eating it. Our system is kind of used to it.
The dirt is trucked into this huge slum and sold at an enormous markup to the women, who pay about $5 a sack. They say it comes from an area in the mountains and are convinced the dirt is rich in minerals and vitamins. And if they don't have the money, they're happy, indeed eager to buy the dirt on credit. If it rains or the sun is blocked, the cookies can't dry out, and women actually end up owing money on the dirt they've purchased. Not a drop of batter is wasted. And throughout Haiti, the cookies are seen in urban markets and small mountain villages. We rarely saw adults eating the cookies, as many seemed ashamed. Kids, however, asked repeatedly why we were so interested before freely eating them. The UN's humanitarian coordinator in Haiti says the need for dirt cookies is an indictment of government failure and waste. The 5-cent cookies, a necessity in Haiti, imported food too expensive for families living on about $1 a day.
Some 3.3 million Haitians are food insecure today. Around 25% of the children are chronically malnourished. These are the same indicators as in sub-Saharan Africa.
pregnant women have long eaten the cookies for their supposed source of calcium and antacid benefits. But doctors dispute this and warn of tooth decay, constipation, and worse. The United States ambassador to Haiti has taken a personal interest in lessening dependence on the cookies.
I've actually taken members of Congress down to Cité Soleil, and they've seen it too.
What do they say when they see people eating dirt?
Well, it's worrisome. It's very worrisome, and we don't like to see it.
Since the UN arrived in Haiti in 2006 as peacekeepers, nutrition has improved in pockets, but the dirt cookies are still being eaten. The widespread hunger means hundreds of kids starting another school day in Cité Soleil, as the Haitian flag is raised, will be reduced to eating dirt. This despite international efforts.
There is hope, by the way, there is hope. Because despite this bleak picture, it is doable to lift Haiti out of poverty.
But even the most optimistic observers agree the future is bleak for these kids without two elements long missing in Haiti: money and a stable government. Reporting in Cité Soleil, Haiti, this is Benno Schmidt for World Focus.
Okay, wasn't that horrible? My heart was really broken to see that. And to continue the story, this morning, upon waking up from sleep, I was trying to clear my throat and open my eyes, and I heard a jingle on my phone, so I opened the phone, which was next to me on the bed. And as I opened the phone, it led me to this video that I posted because someone had either shared it or commented on it. And when I revisited this post, I read what I had wrote. The next time you talk about the government, watch this first. And the Lord spoke to me, and he said tutelage. So first thing I do when the Lord gives me a word is I look it up to make sure I understand what the word means, because sometimes the word will have more than one meaning. And the word tutelage means protection of or authority over someone or something, guardianship, a watching protection, to watch over. And I said to the Father, I said, Father, our government is corrupt here. They are so corrupt and evil. How come you have protected us and are watching us here and not these people in Haiti? Our own country officials have exploited Haiti, like the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. All the money, I said, that was raised in all these, concerts that were done, and the Red Cross and all of that raised money, and it just seems to go into the pockets of the Haitian government and never to the people. So why are we, Father, I said, why are we under your protection, even though we have such corrupt people in office? We're still protected from this poverty, but yet the Haitians are not. And he led me to the Deuteronomy, and I'm going to read you the Deuteronomy 28. Okay? Now pay attention. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed thou shalt be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that they shall settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he had sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all of the work of thy hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord shall make thee the head, and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If thou shalt hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. Now, before I get into verse 15 through, amazing, 15 through 68, which is, well, if you don't, then you're going to be cursed. If you worship other gods, you're going to be cursed. Okay? Yesterday I pulled out this book that I purchased last summer. And it's the Ancient Egypt Encyclopedia. Look at how thick this book is. And it has everything in here, the whole history of Egypt. All of it. From the beginning till now. Till the end of ancient Egypt. And I started looking through it. And, you know, nothing in my life is coincidental. Everything is just so supernatural in my world here that it's all done for a reason. All of it. So I had this question for the Lord, and he answered me tutelage. And I said to him, Father, why have you given us your protection, even though we have such a horrible, corrupt government, and taken your protection away from these people? Because when you think about it, there's so much riches in the world. This would be a kick the can down the road for the world to get rid of this government and go in and rescue these people. But no matter what is done for these people, it just does not go to them. So you have to think, the Lord made me think about the higher power, which is him. He is the one who puts his tutelage down. So why has he removed it? Why has he taken this group of people, and why can't they get a leg up? Why is it impossible for them to get ahead, to be prosperous, to feed their families, to shed the disease that follows them everywhere, and the oppression. So now it comes to verse 15 where it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Now, as I read this, if this doesn't make you fear God, and when he says something, nothing will. Okay? Because what I'm about to read, you're going to see the truth fly in your face. Yeah. "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed thou shalt be in the field." Now these Haitians are in the field, they're cursed. They can't feed themselves. The government's corrupt. All the people around them they look benevolent, but nothing they do actually reaches them. So they're not doing it with the right intention. They're doing it to exploit. Okay? And if you look at the blacks in the cities, okay, they can't get ahead either. Okay? They're living in areas that are impoverished. They are living in areas that are in the lower echelon of living standards in most cases. Okay? And the governments channel drugs and corruption into the areas where they live, so they can feed on it. Because if they can't advance, which is man's goal, is to prosper and to advance, then they're going to turn to these alternatives that are going to destroy them. "Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep." I don't know about you, but the Planned Parenthood, it gives impoverished people the permission to go and kill their babies, and therefore they will always remain a minority. "Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me." "The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with the blasting, and with the mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth. Yeah, if you look at it, the blacks, okay, whether they be in Africa or Haiti or indigenous to all these countries, maybe, they were the original natives of all the lands, and they were scattered about, and maybe that's what the Lord means here, okay, because they really don't have their land, okay? And maybe their land is Israel, okay? And maybe what the Lord meant when he says, I'll curse those who curse Israel and bless those who bless Israel, he's referring to the land and not the people that are inhabiting Israel at the moment. It's something to think about. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. That means people are going to watch you die and not do anything. And what's happening in Haiti? People are standing by watching, and they can't do anything. Okay? And if the Lord wasn't doing this, then they would be able to make a way to be helped. But the Lord has, this is the Lord's curse. It has to be. It doesn't make any sense. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt and with the emerods. There had to be a reason why I took that book out. And with the scab and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at the noonday, as the blind gropeth in the darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. This is what I'm saying. The people around them are being prevented from saving them, because nothing that is sent out reaches them to help them. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her, and thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell there in him. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. So basically, whatever you do will be to serve somebody else, like a slave. Thine ox shall be slain before thy eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thy ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thy enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. This is just so uncanny that this came to me, all of this, and now this verse, this chapter just rings so clear to the Haitians. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thine hands. What does that mean? You take your children away and traffic them for sex and slavery. You have these children, and now they're more powerful than you, and they're taking your children away. This happens. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which shall see. The Lord shall smite thee with the knees, and smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and thou shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. So nothing that they do will ever flourish. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. What I said, they're going to have children, and they're going to take them away from them and set them into sex trafficking and slavery. All thy trees and thy fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt not come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and shall overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. What a curse. You have to fear the Lord, people. You have to take the Father seriously. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shall you serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, mud cookies, and in thirst, polluted waters, and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue shall not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kine, nor flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God had given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God had given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Doesn't this tell you of how it is in the black community? How women have these children, and the father left them, and now they're on welfare? I'll just read this again. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So that he will not give any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness whereof thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. There be nowhere to turn for you to provide for your family appropriately, because there are traps set in every corner that will thwart all your advances to try to get something to better your life. The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege, and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. If thou wilt not observe to do the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, and all in capitals, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. It all goes back to this, people. It's all going back to this. Also, every sickness. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until you be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for the multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. Now, this doesn't sound like the people of Israel, because Israel is flourishing. Israel is flourishing in inventions, and their land is Israel is very prosperous. Although they are hated, they're the hated nation because everybody wants their land. This doesn't fit the profile of God's people. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiceth over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. So that means if these people are God's people, then who's in Israel? Are they posers? You know, we've been lied to all our life. I want to know the truth. Okay? I don't want to follow a lie. But the Lord has given me this, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other. There shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, the people of Israel now have come back. But was that a setup? Because the blacks don't have their own community. They're all over the world. And they're oppressed all over the world. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. Yeah, because, you know, the blacks get killed a lot, you know, and a lot of them are getting killed by their own brothers and sisters. What I said earlier, they're killing off themselves. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Very powerful chapter, and all I can say is that I'm not saying one thing or the other. I'm saying that this has opened up a whole new can of worms for me to think about. This has all become food for thought, revelation. Could this be a piece of the puzzle? That's all I'm saying. And I'm putting this out there, this whole experience that I've been having for the last 24 hours. I'm sharing it with you so that maybe you have a piece of the puzzle that you can share with me, and we can figure this out. Because that video of those people eating mud patties in a world, in a very, very wealthy world, makes you really think that there's a divine power keeping them cursed. And like the Lord said to me, tutelage, he has lifted his tutelage off this group of people. Okay? Obvious to see. Obvious. So I just wanted to share all that with you. I'm already 30 minutes in. I say God bless you. I hope this message helped you to rethink and possibly follow it to have the truth revealed to you, because that's my prayer to the Father. I want to know the truth, Father. I don't want to be in the lie with this world. I don't want to be the Truman Show. I want to know from you, Father. And the Father says, he who seeks shall find. And I'm seeking. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.